Welcome to Conversation with Haych, and we have an amazing, superb, supreme, amazing guest. One of the most successful UK pop groups in the 21st century, with Brit Award winners, 6 #1 singles, 5 top 10 albums, a few double platinum albums. The Sugababes. You guys know about Round Round Baby Round. You know about them tune there? Lost in You and all that. She's a YouTube blogger, inspiration to a generation of black people, an amazing singer-songwriter, the investor, the one who likes to journal, of Jamaican descent, currently in the UK. She's living out in Canada, but she's here with us today.
Hello.
The amazing, the super Keisha Buchanan. How are you doing?
Hello. Hello.
You okay?
Yes.
For those who don't know who you are,
Yeah.
who is Keisha?
I am. My name is Keisha I Buchanan.
Oh wow.
And yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter from London, and formed a group when I was like 11 or 12 with my mates, and we went on to be really successful. Yeah, you pretty much summed me up in everything you said, to be honest. Yeah, I've got a few bits going on.
So in earlier life, what kind of things happened that kind of stick with you today? And what things did you learn about yourself in earlier life that you are now like, oh, this is still who I am now?
I think I'm still learning about myself, if I'm completely honest. I think that obviously I still love music. Things like that are really, I think I'm a lot more relaxed. I think I was quite intense when I was younger, and I was a massive perfectionist. And as you get older, you realize actually there's no such thing as perfection. But that's been a process for me to kind of get through, because I just always want to do my best. So I get a bit anxious around that. But yeah, aside from that, I feel like the life lessons I'm constantly learning.
So what was family life like when you were younger?
So I kind of grew up in a household that was full of music. Even when my mum would go to her friends' houses, they would have sound systems set up, and we would, that's how I was like introduced to acts like 112 at the time and all that kind of stuff. Obviously a lot of reggae music, especially on a Saturday. If you're Jamaican, the Saturday, the spring cleaning day, that was always on and stuff. Dennis Brown was always bumping out. And then from when me and my brother, we got like cable in our rooms, that's when we got all the music channels. And then I got introduced to SWV and acts kind of like that. So it was a very musical house, and my dad, he was definitely, my parents had us when they were young. So it was not very strict. They were big believers in just like, self-expression, which really you don't really, that's not common. It's not common also to not be smacked and stuff like that. But I wasn't.
How crazy is it to think that you were watching kind of the Box and Kiss and all MTV Base and all these kind of things come out to then kind of see yourself? Did you ever envision that would happen?
I feel like there wasn't a doubt in my mind that I wanted to be a singer. Like I always wanted to sing and act as well. But my main thing was like, when it was going to happen. It was not if, especially when I met Mutia in I think we met in year 3 or 4 in primary school. And from then it would just felt like natural. Everything has always been just sort of like progressively like towards that direction. So yeah.
Let's talk about you guys, you meeting Mutia and then Siobhan, and then you guys essentially starting the Sugababes. Well, before it was the Sugababes, it was just you guys singing. Then it was the Sugababes like properly when you guys turned 16.
Yeah.
What was that like? And do you feel like you missed out in your teenage years because like you kind of had to mature quite quickly?
Yeah, we definitely sacrificed a lot. I would say that just being around our school friends, we actually left school, I think maybe year 8.
Oh, wow.
Just to get private tuition. It was definitely adjustment. I went through like a really hard time where I just felt like I didn't really relate to my friends very much. And then my mom always said, enjoy your own company and just, be prayerful. And I literally, I was living the dream, wasn't I? But it is really lonely, and people don't really tell you that. It's very lonely.
So even with all the success that Sugababes go on to do, like when in your early teens, late teens, early 20s, did you still feel quite lonely even with all of that?
Yeah, because, so even though you've got company, you're still really lonely because your friends are calling you up and like you're missing out on real life experiences. It's like you take a child out of their environment, you put them among adults. And so in a lot of ways, we were very mature. But then we miss out on just regular stuff like how to pay your bills and just like life stuff. So that was it was definitely hard, but I don't have any regrets in it because not many people get to live their dream. You know?
100%. I agree. As you guys kind of grow as a band though, the members start to change and those types of things. How did that start to affect you? Because you were kind of still the one that was still within what was the Sugababes and different member started coming. How did that affect you? Especially kind of losing friends like Muti and Siobhan that you kind of grew up with.
Yeah. I feel like I took it really hard when Mutia left. I think we hadn't really been established that much as a band. We came out, we had a first album, and then obviously Siobhan left, and that was kind of hard to adjust. But we were so passionate about trying to just rebrand ourselves and continue music. And actually, not a lot of people know this, but when Siobhan left the band, Muti and I were dropped from our label, and they were pretty much like, you're not going to be anything, you're not going to do anything. And we had to pretty much start from the ground up in a lot of ways just to prove ourselves. But when Mutia left, that was a huge adjustment for me because, like I said, we met in, year 3 or 4 of primary school, and we were together every single day, and then Sugababes every single day. So that was hard, really, really hard, yeah.
Did you notice a change within yourself when kind of Mutia leaves? Well, Siobhan leaves, Mutia leaves. Do you notice a change within yourself, or was it just kind of business as usual for yourself?
There was a massive change. I feel like for me, it probably was a lot about, obviously, one, her just not being there, but creatively, she was always like the shoulder I rubbed on. And don't get me wrong, like I was creative with the other 2 girls, but I just feel like there was something really organic about Mutia and I, that dynamic. And even when Siobhan left, at least Mutia was still there, that so that was really hard on a creative level. And then it was hard because everything was then on my shoulders. Whereas before, the press would more so, if they're going to come for you, they would come for the both of us, or even sometimes more so Mutia even. But as soon as she left, it was like all eyes are on me. And I kind of felt like I took the brunt of a lot of negative press, I would say.
Speaking about kind of the negative press, because when we've spoken before, you spoke about like not feeling that, you felt like you were treated any differently while you were within the group, within the people that were in the group. But in terms of like the media, it seemed like there was a lot of negative press with you being the only kind of what we consider dark-skinned black girl in the group. How did you kind of deal with that?
I think I didn't notice because I've always had privileges around, and I've always been careful to even talk about like the black experience up until 2020 because my experience was very different. I never went through colorism, believe it or not. I never I don't know whether that kicks in high school or something, but I skipped that situation. And so I was almost like applauded and awarded for having a talent, I guess, and then for being the black one in the group, and so I didn't see or feel any sort of racism. And then I actually did a video on my YouTube channel, and it was actually me reacting to old interviews, and it was the comment section, and this was just before George Floyd died, and it was the comment section that was like, they were treating you different. And I was only making the video so that I could be like, this is my side of just like clearing up my character because my jokes landed really poorly and stuff. But then when George Floyd died and everyone started talking about this whole Black Lives Matter movement, I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, they were doing that. And I didn't notice. And that was really hard for me. It was a hard pill to swallow because there was a lot of things I haven't spoken about publicly, but a lot of things landed with me and with people that I actually really loved. So that was hard, but I think things are changing. And now we're working in environments where I walk in and I'm not the only black person there, or where people, will say, we need a makeup artist, but can they do black skin? Little things like that make huge, I know, it should have been obvious, but like now it's like, it's real, like it's a thing now. So it's great.
And that's good because like now it seems like when you first started out kind of doing it, it's a totally different kind of, maybe not totally, but it's a big change in terms of especially of being of darker skin in lots of different environments that you've seen
Yeah.
compared to what you had before. One of the things that I've heard you talk about before is you guys were really successful. There was everything was happening and X, Y, and Z, but you felt really empty or like you were missing something.
Yeah, that was like, believe it or not, that was at the height of my career. At this point, I'll never forget, we had #1 single and album. The album was platinum. We had like the #1 video on all the music channels. Things couldn't get any better. And I bought this like huge house but I was so sad. I was super, super sad inside. And that's when it clicked to me that actually you've got everything you wanted and you're still not happy. So your spirit has to connect with the physical. And it always has in a way. I've always been a prayerful person.
Yeah.
Always had a big belief in God. But I think it was in that moment that I was like literally dropping to my knees, like, God, like, I feel like you're really far away and actually I need you to like step in. You know, I need you to come back closer. And God never really leaves us. But I feel like there's a time when he's like with his kids, all right, go do your thing. I'm here, you know. So I think it was one of those moments for me.
How does that relationship with God now affect you?
Oh my gosh. Well, I think just learning that I feel like I was super religious growing up, believe it or not. I was super religious and the biggest change has been me just really getting to know the character of God and really just knowing what he's about and that he's not this condemning father. And I feel like a lot of us church kids get kind of introduced to him in a way that is not necessarily accurate. And I definitely feel his grace and have learned so many things, you know, just through my mistakes and knowing that actually I'm still accepted. And that was the biggest thing for me, knowing that you've made a mistake, but, you know, you're still loved and it's a journey.
Is there a piece of advice you would give that younger, height of success Keisha, that with everything that you now know, and what would that be?
I think I would say,
I can
there's
see
so
there's
much.
a lot of what's
Do you know,
going on.
there's a lot. There's a lot of things going on, but I think like mainly, I'm so much more aware of myself, and I think when you're aware of yourself and how you are, and then you're aware of others, and I've just grown so much in my empathy and understanding and forgiveness of others because I've seen my own mess ups and where I can improve. And I think just self-reflection is key with it, no matter what you do. And that's what I would say to myself. I would say that don't dim your light for anyone. Find out who you are first so that no one can tell you who you are, because that can also knock your confidence. And I think I listened to a lot of people, you know, just saying things about me that I knew in my heart were not true. And also defend yourself. Defend yourself. There's a way in which you can actually politely put people in check
In their
and
place.
say, actually, that's not true. And actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to stick up for myself and stuff. So yeah, but that comes with age, I think. Even if you had told me that back then, I don't think I would have registered it
You
the
don't
way I
think you
do
would
today.
listen?
No.
So we're here now. Sugababes are more in demand than they have been for a little while, because you got people ain't even, oh, they're back. That's a lot of people's kind of reckoning. Oh, the Sugababes are back. You've done festivals, you've done Glastonbury, where the police had to come and just shield the people from because
They
the
shut the field
overcapacity.
down. I know.
Because of you
Crazy.
guys, you got a tour coming. How does that feel, and how different is it now with the potential success and the success you've already had now compared to back then?
It feels new, and I'm surprised
Wow.
because, you know, we reunited 9 years ago under the name MKS. And for some reason, in the last few weeks, months, it's felt brand new. It's felt, and I don't know whether it's because we fought for the name Sugababes, we got the name Sugababes back. And yeah, I just feel like it feels brand new. And even just the fans as well. And I was saying earlier today to the girls, like, is it that there was a pandemic and everyone's glad to be at the yard now, that everyone's like, yeah, we're free. I don't know what it is, but the synergy of everyone coming to the shows has just been like on point, and the love is there and it feels so genuine. It doesn't feel forced. And that's why we don't call it a reunion, because we hate that word with a passion. we just want to be known as creatives. And we've realized that actually, because our fans are so solid, we're fortunate enough to be able to just create when we want to create and take a break. And we have to now because we're a little bit older, kind of. And we want to be able to like have our lives and have balance, which is why I live where I live. And, you know, I got to become a mummy at some point, but I'm never going to stop being a creative, I don't think.
This is the first time kind of the Sugababes have been really popular since your father passed away. Have you noticed that as an effect on you? Because I can imagine him being a real big supporter of everything that you do. How has that kind of affected you, or how are you dealing with that? Or is that not something that's kind of crossing your mind every day?
Well, before this interview, I came in from Manchester because we did some promo, and my dad is buried in Manchester, and he's from Manchester originally, and I went to go and see him, and I thought I was absolutely fine. But then when we heard that, you know, the tour had sold out and stuff, I just burst into tears.
Really?
Because that's something that he really would have wanted to see.
Oh,
and,
wow.
you know, and it's grief, it's not even been a year yet. So it's a weird one, but you just get on with it because it you know, there's nothing we can do. And it's really hard. It's not easy. Every day is different, I would say, with grief.
Do you feel like with everything that you're doing now, you're making him proud? And what would he say with all the success that you're now having, you knowing your dad?
If there's one thing I'll say is that my dad was super, like, I know that he was super proud. He'd tell me all the time, you're going to make me cry.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I got tissues just in case.
Yeah, no, I know he was super, super proud. That's one thing I'd say. And just, you know, he was a music guy as well. So I think he would be there and, you know, he'd be like, yes, my girl. Like, you know, he would be super proud. So that I have no doubt. So, yeah.
Away from the popularity, away from you being on stage and those types of things, I just want to talk briefly about how important your family, especially your mom, is to you from young even to, and how important of a role she plays in your life now. How crucial is that?
Oh my gosh, my mum, you know, the most, I can just depend on her. I can depend on her for anything. She'll drop anything for her kids. She is that mum that refuses to go to bed before you get in. She'll send me about 50 scriptures a day.
Yeah.
She's definitely that mum that will be up praying until all times. And I definitely feel like I am who I am, like where I am today, mainly because of her prayers. And that has like kept me through the whole thing. She doesn't like to be in the camera or anything like that. She's very introverted, we're complete opposites in that respect. But I just think just to see her strength and to see how nurturing she is, I definitely can only hope to be half as, you know, when I'm a mum one day, like I try to emulate how she's been with me and my brother. I don't know if I can get there, to be fair, because I'm going to bed at 2:00 in the morning. I'm not waiting for no one. I'm not waiting up for anyone. But yeah, she's just incredible and super supportive.
Are you in love with the person you've now become? Considering all that you've done, considering all that you've been through, some things we've talked about, some things we haven't, all the stuff that makes you who you are you in love with the person you've become?
I definitely love the person that I'm becoming, for sure. And with that, you know, there's always the other side of it where it's like I love whom I'm becoming, and the perfectionist in me is like, damn, I just need to get that part of my, you know, that part right and stuff. And like I said, it's a journey, but I can look myself in the mirror every day and be proud of who I am. Yeah.
With where you're at in your life, what encouragement would you give to yourself?
The way I encourage myself is catching myself, my thoughts very quickly when I'm about to go down like a negative thought pattern in my mind. I'm definitely clear on where I believe those things come from, and I just try to interject with the truth. Music again is a big thing for me. finding making a playlist and finding the songs that I need to sing at those specific times, and also just taking a pause. I think, especially when I'm first getting to know people, I process things. I don't necessarily like just talking. I think you know this. I used to, but I feel like processing things and listening to understand has gotten me a long way, and hopefully it will continue to do so. So, yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Thank
I really
you.
appreciate your time. So it's been conversation with Haych. We've done amazing, superb. Make sure you go, if you're a Sugababes fan, even if you're not, go buy them tickets on the tour. Because by the time this comes out, it's probably sold out.
Yeah.
It's probably sold.
Actually, some of them are already, so you may want to. Or DM me, I'll get you in for free.
No, don't DM it. Go buy the tickets. Go buy the tickets. It's the amazing Keisha Buchanan.
Thanks so much.
We'll have much more content coming for you very, very soon.